Okay, here we are today. What I'm going to show is my 1979 Ford Bronco Ranger XLT. Kind of the top of the line model for 1979. Of course, it's not too fancy. It's a little rusty. The quarter panels, they've got some cancer on them. I've got the quarter panels to replace. I just hasn't got around to doing that just yet. Tailgate, it's kind of rusty as well. Whole truck's kind of dirty, pardon that. We've had some snow, salt, so I've been driving it around in the bad weather we've had here lately. Kind of keeping that from being driven all over the place. But you can see the rust all over the bottom of the tailgate. The tailgate's in pretty bad shape. I just need to get it replaced. And to be different, I kind of added these two emblems to the back of the tailgate. I robbed the Ranger emblem off of a 74 F100, I believe. I don't really remember. And the XLT emblem, it just came off another F-150 about the same year. And we go around to the passenger side. I started to do some repair work to this quarter over here and found out it's just too far gone, so I'm going to have to replace it too. It's got the factory tinted windows in the top. Of course, I've tinted the windows on the sides here several years ago. It's turned purple. I'm going to have to go ahead and peel it off and redo it sometime. Of course, we look down. We have mile maker hubs I replaced last winter. That was a fun adventure. I get out in 3 inches of snow and the hubs bust on the old set. And there's the front end. Of course, this doesn't have the heavy-duty suspension on it. This has got just the standard truck suspension. Some of your off-road packages would have dual front shocks, but this one doesn't. I had one once before. I had another 79 once before. It had dual shocks on it, but this one just got the single shocks, which is better because this one rides just a little bit better anyway. So let's take a look at the inside. I have to show this off. The door panel inserts here, these right here, I made these myself. It originally had the wood grain inserts, but I made those. Kind of looks a little bit nicer. It looks a little bit more up to date anyway. Of course, I've added a headliner to it, and it has the optional map light. You don't see that very often anymore. And it has factory air conditioning, tilt and cruise. And you can see air conditioning. And I've added a JVC stereo to it, which it gives me trouble. It doesn't work right anymore, and it's not very old either. Of course, cruise control. Funny, these older ones, they don't have the resume option. It just has on, off, set, and coast, but it works. And of course, tilt, which I've never used that much. It has the wood grain dash. I keep the towels over the seats because the seats are getting pretty bad shape. I'm going to replace those. When I do a restoration on this, I'm actually going to replace all of the seats and everything inside. We take a look in the back. Of course, the back looks brand new almost. It's in real good shape. And the side panels, I also made those. The originals, they were in pretty rough shape, but that really changed the whole looks inside quite a bit. So let's walk around to the passenger side. And of course, the front end, it originally had the black headlight trim and a black grille in it. And I found that it looks a little bit better. Just gives it a more of a street appearance rather than an off-road appearance. Of course, it has the full wood grain dash in it, as most of your XLTs do. I've seen a couple Rangers, and I've seen a couple of XLTs that didn't have it, which is kind of odd. And of course, the seats over here, they kind of rough too. Of course, four-wheel drive. Also, if you notice there, I've been trying to find the upper shroud for the steering column, because the pins came out of that one time. It busted that. Of course, that's discontinued from Ford, so, and there's not very many of these that came out actually anyway with tilt. So let's start it and we will hear it run. Provided I find what I did with the key. Here we are. And here's the funny thing about this. During the late 70s to the mid 80s sometime, Ford got kind of cheap. If you look, the key isn't brass, it's made of aluminum. They didn't hold up too long for, of course, most of them would wear down and look like an envelope opener. But that one's still in pretty decent shape. I don't use it a whole lot anymore. So let's start it. Needs exhaust. Of course, when I go back with exhaust, I'm going to put 2-inch duals on it with Flowmasters. But right now, it just has a thrush sonic. Has a thrush sonic turbos on it, which I never did really like. So let's look underneath the hood. We have to sit it down for a minute. There, underneath the hood, we will see 400 cubic inch V8, which I'd went through and rebuilt the top end of it last summer. I put new valve seals and it replaced the head gasket. It's all original. When I bought the truck, all the smog equipment had been taken off. It runs okay. It has some power, but not a great deal. Just something that you just drive around every day. Of course, I don't do any off-roading in it or anything. And it's pretty clean underneath the hood, unlike some of them that you'll see, they'll be kind of dirty and everything. I keep this one pretty clean. Of course, I keep every vehicle I have clean. That's all that I have, and thanks for viewing.